So about a month or so ago, I made a video comparing the Meta Quest 3 to the Oculus Quest, and that seemed to do pretty well. So what I decided to do was I decided to get the PSVR2. And I wanted to compare the PSVR2 to the Meta Quest 3 and see which one's better. If, you know, maybe they're both good, but I'll be honest, this is a non-pro YouTuber move. The answer is no. This, like, the Meta Quest 3, in my opinion, is way beyond this guy. Like I cannot think of an actually good reason to buy a PSVR2 over Meta Quest 3. But before we get into all of that, I'm gonna go ahead and just tell you, I'm putting chapters for a few different things. I've got 3 different sections here: hardware, user experience, and games. So I'm gonna have 3 different sections. You guys can go down and skip between those if you wanna see those. Okay. So let's go ahead and start straight into the hardware. So, a couple of things to know about the hardware of this headset particularly here. So obviously you've got the cord, right? This actually isn't a problem in my experience. It really hasn't been a problem, mainly because it sticks out when you're wearing it. It sticks out behind you. So as long as you're facing like away from the PS5, this not much of an issue. Now, obviously, as you can see, dangling here, you have these earbuds. These, I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of earbuds, especially, like, I'd rather just have the open ear. But these do sound better. I do have one game that I've been playing that is the same game between both the Meta Quest 3 and the PSVR 2, and that is Until You Fall. I wanted to have like a one-for-one game that I could play that would kind of show me the differences between playing on a PSVR 2 versus a Meta Quest 3. And so when I played Until You Fall, the couple things I did notice was, number one, is these earbuds, you do get a lot of that bass more in there. So you do have a lot of that. And then also the OLED displays. I did notice that it was brighter, more vibrant colors. It looked more beautiful. Now, on top of that though, you have what's called Fresnel lenses, I believe is what they're called, on the PSVR 2. Now that is the standard type of lens, I believe. Fresnel lenses, I believe, are the standard type of lens that have been used in VR headsets probably all the way up to 2023, I think. Because the Quest 3 has something that's called pancake lenses. As far as I'll be honest, I don't know what headsets do and don't have this. As far as like regular consumer headsets that you'll hear about, I believe the Quest 3 and the Quest Pro have pancake lenses. I don't know who else has them, but I'm gonna tell you what, there is a huge difference between the PSVR 2, like the Fresnel lenses on the PSVR 2, and the pancake lenses on this guy. Like, there is a huge difference. Like, okay, so what we're talking about is, like, first of all, the sweet spot. The sweet spot is, like, almost non-existent on this headset. Like, it is a very small spot, and everywhere else you got, like, God rays, and, like, it looks kind of blurry. It's like there's something wrong with this lens. Is it smudged or something like that? No, it's not. It's the Fresnel lenses. I didn't realize. Like, I was kind of concerned. I was like, did I just get, like, a faulty unit or something? But I looked it up, and it's like, no, it's the lens itself. It's a common thing with the lenses. So if you are a VR user and you've had like other headsets, older headsets, like, you're probably not going to notice it like that. It's not going to be a big deal for you with the PSVR 2. But like, I tell you, man, I've been using the Quest 3 for like a month or so now, like month and a half, and this guy is like, it's so much better. Like, I think I tried playing a little bit of, I think it was Witcher 3. I played a little bit of it in VR using virtual desktop. And I was like, and even that for like the edges, I was like, yeah, but like the edges, you know, like all in the corners, I'm like, yeah, that's not great. But then I tried playing a little bit of Helldivers 2 using the PSVR 2, and I was like, this is unplayable because I just can't see. Like, I have to move my head so far. I could see it like in my peripheral, but I have to move my head to be able to see it clearly. And it just is, it's just a worse experience altogether. I will say though, this is another thing about the PSVR2. This is actually probably one of the things that's probably the best thing about this headset over the Meta Quest 3 is the out-of-the-box head strap is far and away superior to what comes with the Meta Quest 3. Now, this right here, this head strap that I've got on the Quest 3 is not the default head strap. This is a third party from Bobo VR. It is 100% necessary. If you're gonna get this headset, you have to get a third party headset. Like, there's no question. You don't even think about buying this headset and just using the regular strap, because that thing is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Don't even think about it, okay? I had a Quest, original Oculus Quest. The reason I didn't really play it too much was because it would hurt on the back of the head after like 20 minutes because of the head strap. And it was the same. It was the same with this guy. It was the exact same thing. This is a lighter, smaller headset, and it was still the same. And I got the new head strap. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. It makes all the difference in the world. It makes all the difference in the world. Now, with this head strap, I mean, they both have the halo. It's what's called like a halo design. Try to see if I can show it off better. That's what's called a halo design. You have it on both of these guys here. Now this one, I feel this head strap design is, I think, far superior. You've got the this guy right here that kind of lets it rest on the top of your head, and then here this cups the back of your head. Versus over here, it only has 2 contact points on your head. Right here, which is supposed to go like or right up here, and then this, which goes on the back of your head here. And the problem I find with that is that it doesn't keep the thing stable. Like it'll move around. It likes to. Now the nice thing is this headset is really light. Like this, it feels cheap only because it's so much lighter. But that's because like it doesn't have the battery, doesn't have all the stuff that this headset. This is being a standalone headset. This has to be a lot heavier, but this one doesn't. But this right here, like it's this little rubber here, it sits in front of your face and it doesn't sit on your face, which that might be a bonus for you. It might not. I like how the Quest it sits on your face. It feels more like, okay, so this is secure, and it feels like it stays more in place than this one does. And with a tiny sweet spot, that just makes it all the more worse, especially when you're like, okay, I gotta angle this up so that it's like here. So like this is here, and then this, I've got to get that in the back of my head to make sure that stays stable, and then it just kind of pulls down a little bit, and then you're no longer in your sweet spot. So that is just, it's unfortunate. And then also, as for controllers, you've got these two. So I just took one of each controller, so just hold it. Now I did get the hand strap. I like having the hand strap so that I can just hold it like that, and I don't actually have to grip the controller at all. Versus here, you've got this really kind of weird design, which is all well and good and everything. It's a little difficult when you can't see it, but I will say this has a really cool design where all you have to do is just do that, like just put a little bit of pressure, pulling those apart, and it tightens it up right for you, which these guys didn't have on the official straps, but you know, it's cool. I think the design on this is really cool. This does have more buttons, where this just has the menu button, these 2 buttons, and then the joystick. This has the 2 buttons, the joystick, the action button, as well as the PlayStation Home button. So I don't think this is the terrible design. I like how the grip button is a lot more further down versus just a little bit of a clicky button here. Otherwise, like, there's really not a whole lot of complaints here to be had on the controllers at all. it's not that big of a deal, really. So so let's move on to the user experience. Let's compare those guys. Now, the user interface for the Quest 3 versus the PS2 VR2. It's clear Meta knows what they're doing. They know how to make a UI experience, because with the Quest 3, like, firstly, when I put the headset on, okay, the first thing that happens, and maybe this is, I think it's partly because I have it set up this way, but when I first put that headset on, I see everything around me in color. So that's the first thing. It's color pass through. I've got, and then it has a little menu that's probably about maybe yay big, you know. And it just sits there. And sometimes, and this is a weird thing with it, and sometimes it'll be somewhere weird off because, you know, I take the headset off. I don't really turn it off. I just let it go into rest mode while it's sitting there. But it might be weird, and I can just hit the Meta button and it'll recenter it, and then I can do whatever I want. I don't even have to put on the controllers. I can just put the headset on, and because it's got hand tracking, I don't have to, like, this is something I didn't mention in the Oculus Quest versus Meta Quest 3 video, and this because I discovered it more or less since then. But the Oculus Quest, when I had that, it was like, okay, you got to put the controllers on first, and you got to put the headset on, you know, like hold the controllers, and then you can start doing stuff with it. And that's kind of what it is with the that's kind of like what it's like with the PSVR2 as well. But with the Quest 3, what I end up doing is I end up putting the headset on first, getting that adjusted, and then I can do whatever I want with my hands and whatnot. It makes it super easy because, and also because I'm not blind to the world around me. I can see everything. Maybe it doesn't look super, super great, but like I can still see everything around me, which makes me so much more comfortable about walking about and doing things, and then grabbing my controllers and putting them on then, is because I can see the world around me. So, and it also has its own user interface and everything like that. The PSVR2 though, it just basically screen mirrors your PS5. That's basically it. That's the extent of its user interface. It's just the PS5 user interface. It's just like, it puts it at a distance and it's got black all around it. That's it. It's just the PS5 screen. That is it. They didn't really put much effort into that. I'm like, come on. I was hoping for like more of a user experience for it, but no, it just connects to the PS5. And then also just the features that you get with the Meta Quest 3 is just so much greater. Like you've got, like, I mentioned color pass-through. The PSVR2 has pass-through, but it's in black and white. You've got augmented reality games. Now, granted, there's not really much right now, but you still have that option, and you still have a couple of demos. And you know that because of the color pass-through, you can do that in it. You've also got, I can connect my Quest 3 to my PC through virtual desktop. I can watch streaming. Now there's a couple of streaming services that have apps for the Quest 3. And then also you can watch 3D video. I think you can do it through, I don't know what kind of websites use it, but like at least YouTube has an app on the Quest where you can watch YouTube videos in VR 180 or 360. Like you have those options to do that on there. And as far as I can tell, like on the Quest 2 or on the PSVR 2, like I tried opening up the YouTube, but it's just the PS5 YouTube app. There's no, as far as I can tell, there's really no way to do any VR video capability or anything on the PSVR 2. Now, I do know it is getting some PC support later on. I don't know when that is. Obviously, that is not now, but I think you will have. I think you should be able to do a lot of that stuff on PC when that PC support starts, but it's not now. So, and still, and if I was going to pay $500 for a PC to play VR using my PC, would I want to get the Quest 3 or the PSVR 2? And I'm like, I'll be honest, the lenses are a huge deal for me. Like, it's just such a big deal. Like, it is just such a big deal. Like, just everything just not being clear. I think that's probably the biggest thing for me on the PSVR 2, is that I don't want to have to deal with all that glare and everything and all the God rays on a PC. Like, I'd just rather use the Quest 3. Now, granted, on the headset, because it is because it's a wired headset, it doesn't have a battery in it, and so you don't have to charge this headset. However, you do have to charge these guys, and there's a little USB-C port right there. So I can't see. I think there are charging ports or charging accessories for these guys, but you have to plug this guy and another one in, and it's a minor annoyance for me, because it's like, okay, now I've got to plug two things in instead of one. Versus on the Quest 3, now because I've got this particular headset or head strap on, what I like to do is I like to plug in the battery pack, and then I turn on the battery pack, and the battery pack charges the headset. That way I'm charging everything all at once. But yeah, I can just plug that in, boom, it's being charged. The controllers use a single AA battery, and I haven't changed them out since I got them a month and a half ago. So, and I've been using it pretty consistently. So, and then as for the games on here, like, obviously, yeah, like, the Quest 3 has access to all the Quest games. It has access to the Rift games. It has access to Steam games through a PC. Granted, Rift and Steam games are if you have a PC. So the Rift games are like the PC VR through the Meta store, and Steam games, obviously. Steam's got a lot of different stuff. And then I can also play, non-VR games through virtual desktop as well. So I can, I can log into virtual desktop, and virtual desktop's really cool, because like I can like sit in the theater, and like I can use my PC while I'm just sitting in the theater. I've got like a wireless keyboard with a trackpad and everything like that, so I can do that. Like, I mean, even right now, I am editing this video right now in VR. Like what you're seeing, right? Like, hey, you can see me on the big screen. But like, virtual desktop it's super cool. I mean, you can connect to Steam. Like, you have the Steam VR app, and you have the Quest Link, where you can just wirelessly connect to your PC. But the virtual desktop actually allows you to do other stuff. And like, sure, I don't do too much on my PC through my VR headset, but it's a cool thing that exists, right? It's cool that it exists. So, and then with the PSVR 2, the only things you can do is just play PSVR 2 games. You can't even play PSVR 1 games. And you can play PS5 games, or PS4 games, I guess, too, as well. But like, that's about all you can do. And I think they're still porting over some PSVR games as well to PSVR 2, but like, you can't play the original PSVR games over on this guy, because the technology is just so different. I think it's just so different that it's like, that's basically another platform for them. And yeah, and there's really not a lot in the PSVR 2. I think Horizon Call of the Mountain is really the only reason I had any interest in looking into a PSVR 2. It's the only one, because I'm a fan of her. I'm a fan of the Horizon series. I am, and I'm like, I really want to play this game, and that's why I got this, is to play it. Will I keep the PSVR 2? No. Like, I don't see any reason in keeping that. Like, it's like, everything I'm gonna want to do is gonna be on the Quest 3, and the Quest 3 is just like, it's got Asgard's Wrath 2, which is like, it's a Quest exclusive, and it came with the Quest 3, and it's like super cool, and it's like super open and everything. I haven't played too much of it yet, so yeah. And then you've got Assassin's Creed Nexus, which is a Quest exclusive, and that is so far my favorite VR game. And you've got a bunch of other things. Quest is the platform that most developers who are developing for VR, that's the platform they're gonna go on. It is. And PSVR2 just doesn't, like, it's got stuff like Resident Evil 4, it's got Gran Turismo 7, it's got Horizon Call of the Mountain, but it's got some AAA titles, but they're ports from flat screen titles, so they're not built from the ground up to be VR titles. So it's just not, the PSVR 2 is just not as good of a headset. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I think the Quest 3, again, assuming that you get the head strap, again, this is the Bobo VR head strap. It is so awesome. I love it. And this headset feels so much more comfortable. I can put it on so much easier, and it's just, getting into it is a lot easier. It's, the user experience just makes things feel better, and it's got so many more games in it. And you can do so much more with that headset than you can with the PSVR 2. And that's why I think the Quest 3 is, like, if you're gonna get a VR headset, the Quest 3, I'll be honest, I cannot think of a good reason to recommend the PSVR 2 over the Quest 3. The PSVR, they cost $500, dude. I just can't find a good reason to say, like, hey, if you're gonna spend $500 on a VR headset and you've got a PS5 and you've got a PC like I do, the PSVR 2 is only gonna give you one game, at least for me. It's gonna give you a couple of games if you want to play some of those others. Those exclusives, really the exclusives really give me the only draw, and there's just not much there right now. So if you're gonna get a VR headset, get the Quest 3, get yourself an extra head strap, the Bobo VR head strap, or maybe, something else. I don't know. I can't see any other reason not to get this one. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. Listen, I've got a little something special for you. If you put down in the comments RQ and then the name of a game you want me to cover, I will be sure to make that a priority to cover that game. It might take a little while because I got to play the game and everything like that. But do that if there's any game you want me to cover. And if you want to see my Oculus Quest versus Meta Quest 3 video, you can see it right here. Thanks for watching.